What is up, everybody? Welcome. Let's see if we can get some more light up in here. A little better. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I'm ClairV, and today we are doing a little collective reading for Libra season. So, Libra is all about fairness, justice, balance, and I was doing a little research this morning, and I was hearing Earth Angel, you know that song? I'm just a fool. In love with you, or something like that. Will you be mine? That song. Wow, I was like, let me see. So it's by the Penguins, right? Penguin. And it was recorded in the summer of 1954 and released in October of 1954. So it's like, okay, so Penguins have to do with it. 1954 has to do with it. And this Earth Angel, you know, has to do with it. And as I'm doing this, I hear crows calling in the background. I'm like, okay, so there's these crows calling. This Earth Angel, you know, has to do with it. Hit single by the Penguins. You know, it was in the charts, off the charts. So this was 70 years ago. It was a release by Dutone Records. Recorded, you know, in the summer, like I said. So, different sources of this song. The song's origins by Jesse Belvin, Patty Page. But yeah, it was on the top 10 billboards. And it was number 1 for like 3 weeks in a row. It was number 8 on the United States Billboard of all sellers. And it was 1 out of 50 songs that they picked for the Library of the U.S. Congress National Recording Registration 50 songs in 2005. In 1998, it was admitted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, this song. So this song was deemed to be very important culturally, historically, and esoterically. Very important. So after the releasing of Earth Angel, there was an authorship bid or legal battle, or whatever. It's a big legal battle. But another thing that happened, today is October 5th, 2024. And I looked back what happened 70 years ago, October 1954. And what's the same between now and then is Mercury is in Lilith. Now Mercury is on the record. You see on the record it says Mercury Records or whatever. So yeah, Mercury was right next to Lilith at the same time now and 70 years ago. And the Penguins, you think of penguins, you know, the animal, the totem, the spiritual, you know, all about the penguins and take on their characteristics. This will help us, especially during this Libra time. You know, they are positive change and adaptability. You know, as I was saying, penguins have wings, but they don't fly. They do things like unconventional. It's abnormal. Other birds think that it's abnormal, but it's their way. They fly through the water. You know what I mean? So, penguins also they all look alike. They're all black and white. They're, you know, this symmetry. And this blend helps them in order. The white looks like the reflection of the water, and the dark, you know, looks like a rock. So it helps them. It's like a defensive mechanism. So to blend in, especially now at this time, is good. You know, we want to blend in. Our voice is what distinguishes us from each other. just like penguins, each penguin has a very distinct sound that you could tell amongst the whole group. There's no two penguins that sound exactly the same. So this, using our voice communication, is a very big thing, especially, you know, Mercury and Lilith. Communication is a good thing, especially when we're talking about our freedom. That's the whole thing, is how do you communicate or express your intense need for freedom, for liberty, right? So the penguin's alignment with the water element is also a big thing. 75% of their life is lived in water. And when we think of water, you think of like the deep subconscious, dreams. Under the surface, we think of submerging, we think of emotions, intuition, psychic abilities, powers, communication with angelic realms, you know, earth angels, and that leads into the earth angels. Before we get into talking about earth angels and what they are, we want to look at penguins. If they weren't in a group, a family, they wouldn't survive, especially in the winter, in the colder months. You know, when it gets cold outside, it is very, the penguins look to who they need, to who's around them, because whoever's around them, they need for survival. When it gets cold, these penguins huddle up and keep each other warm. So this is like, who do you have around you that you need to survive? You know, without this person, you wouldn't survive. And this is telling you to surround yourself with this. Penguins also are the only birds or animals and mammals to drink salt water. And they're known to filter the salt, they filter all the negative, and they harbor all the nutrients, and they expel all of the negativity, all of the salt. So this is another thing telling you, you know, what we can do, you know, to let it go, to release all the negativity and hold on to the positive. And this is another thing. The penguin's medicine is modification energy, to modify, and that's what penguins do. They work together to modify, and to modify, we have the Princess of Discs. Now here we have somebody with this, you know, we see the black and white, the yin and the yang, and this is exactly what we were talking about the color, the symmetry of the penguins. This is also telling us that we need to use our knowledge, what we learned so far, our wisdom, for discernment. And penguins also hold this medicine too. You know, we want to, this is getting what we want and communicating through writing or through words. You know, how we can, you know, spread this light. What are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing? What is this Princess of Disc working on? We're looking for balance in what? Wow, the Queen of Swords. So we'll put this Queen of Swords right here. Ooh, with the Cess, Taurus, the Moon in Taurus. Six of Pentacles. And this one's in the deep subconscious. Oh, we have Judgment in reverse. So perhaps this is why Judgment's coming up in reverse here. Especially in this Libra season, we have this, you know, justice. So when we have this this injustice, this adjustment in reverse. There's adjustment needed, or this is us actively going through these adjustments. And this is what this Princess of Disc is doing. You know, she's very determined, she's very strong-willed, and you know, this is what Mercury and Lilith do. You know, we fight for this oppression. If we see somebody hurt, or if we see somebody in help, you know, you're speaking out, you're not letting anything go. And another thing too is you're creating these boundaries, and by creating boundaries, you don't allow anybody to cross these lines. You make these lines, and if anyone crosses them, you say, if you cross these lines, then this is going to happen, and then you make this happen if those lines are crossed. And this is also this energy, I feel, you know, this adaptability is an analogy for us, the way how we should be adaptable, how we should, you know, be aware of the negative within us. And this is what we were doing about the chakras, how we're figuring out which chakra is related to what issue, and how what is blocked and what needs to be unlocked. And this is how we're doing this. We are very enlightened, we're in touch with our body, and you know, we're surrounded, like I said, with these groups. You know, when penguins have their eggs, the male is the one who sits on them and protects the eggs while the woman goes out to hunt until the eggs are hatched. Then the woman takes over and nourishes and mothers these penguins until they're old enough. You know, she takes them under her wing. But this is a symbiosis. So the symbiosis is the interaction of two different organisms together. Like, this is the symbiosis. And symbiosis is this, the yin and the yang, this mutual, and this is what we're looking for now here in this Libra season when we're talking about others and relationships. And the 7th house, you know, this is the opposite of us. You know, on the chart, here's 1 and 7 is directly across. So we're talking about this symbiosis. So this is where a mutually beneficial relationship between two separate groups or two different people. Now, parasitic would be the opposite. Parasitic is when only one party benefits and another party gets hurt. And this is why there's this adjustment needed. This is why this 6 of Discs is in reverse. There's this imbalance, and when this imbalance occurs, this queen, being this Queen of Swords, is very necessary. You know, she's really taking the bull by the horns. She's being blunt, and she's using communication and her intellect to outwit her opponent. You know what I mean? She is very, very intelligent. She knows what she's talking about. And this is speaking before thinking before we speak. And this is what this queen, she not only thought about it, but she wrote it down, and she's making very just decisions. And this is why, because there's an imbalance, there's an unjust, something's unjust here. And this is why this queen and this Princess of Discs is coming in like, hey, you know, we got to do something about this. And this is why, and maybe Los Angeles, California has something to do about it, because this is where this song Earth Angel was created. So looking back in 1954, the major events that happened this year, Abdul Nasser succeeded in overthrowing the Egypt's, power. He gained power in Egypt, and he became the premier. Plus the SE a treaty organization, the SEATO, SEATO, came about. Also in October in 1954, this year, the United States tested the hydrogen bomb at Bikini Atoll, and Vietnamese communists occupy this Dien Bien Phu and Hanoi. The U.S. also signed this pact with China, Taiwan. Another thing, in 1954, the CIA released this constant report on intelligence support for economic warfare. Now, these documents weren't even released until April 22nd of 2006, but these operations do exist. People say, oh, it's a conspiracy, but they're literally, if you go on the internet, you can see CIA documents that were released on April 22nd, 2006, that state about psychological warfare, economical aid, and assassinations, like a list of targeted, how they planned this. It was PB Success, that was the name of this operation, that was the code name for it. And what this supported was a coup d'etat. Now, coup d'etat is French for overthrowing the government. So what happened was the CIA created these, economic warfare for a coup d'etat to overthrow. If the Democrats would get into office in Guatemala, then the CIA performed all of these psychological warfare attacks, economical warfare attacks, these attacks to create this coup d'etat, to overthrow the Democratic Party. And this had a lot to do with the Cold War, and this went into all of these things. Now, January 22nd in 1946, President Truman came up with this National Intelligence Authority, and this then became the CIA. It was the FBI, and then it came this, the FBI President Truman, then it became the CIA. So this, I don't know what this coup d'etat on overthrowing the Democratic Party, maybe this is trying to tell us something, but these are major events that happened in 1954 that have to do with this Earth Angel thing. Now, also another thing about these Earth Angels. Do you know an Earth Angel? Are you an Earth Angel? What is an Earth Angel? So there's a lot of people who talk about angels coming down on Earth. Even the Bible talks about it. The Nephilim in Genesis 6. Even the Buddhists talk about it. The Tibias postponed nirvana to aid others on their path to enlightenment. All of these, even the Greeks, the daemons, they're divine spirits that inspired, prophets and philosophers. They rise the vibe of the planet and, help heal. They have exceptional gifts in writing and communication, and they use this to inspire others. This major thing, these Earth Angels, they find, wanting to find your truth in your true passion. What are you here for? So how do you communicate your intense need for liberty? This is Mercury and Lilith, and this is to outmaneuver your opponents by intellect and communication. It's almost like the Ren and the Eagle story I was telling the other day in the live. The race between the Ren and the Eagle. Ooh. Confirmation on the Ace of Cups. Ooh. Wow, collective. Amazing. Alright, so we have this water energy. We were talking about the penguins. I'm recording y'all. Are you headed there now?
Yeah.
Love y'all. So yeah, let me make sure I'm still recording. Okay, so yeah, so these and also these, this is speaking raw emotions from the heart. So you might come off to some as like, some people might think you're intimidating or whatever, but here we have both these aces. We have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. And I'm like, oh, confirmation on the Ace of Cups. Is this a new love? And then we have this, the Two of Cups, coming out right after, which this is this divine union. And this is this connection, this yin and this yang, this masculine, this feminine, this coming together. I see this Venus in Cancer, which is really seeing the beauty in our emotions and the beauty in feeling our emotions. And this is really changing the vibration of these emotions. In order for this to come, this has to come. It's like you have to accept this opportunity. And it's like, okay, well, maybe we need to, slow down instead of, going with our passion. Go from, we have to slow down and look at our passion from our heart. This virtue, I see this Three of Wands is like putting your back towards the past, towards whatever you failed at before, whatever these false starts were. Say we started something, then we stopped. It's like, well, we're turning our back to that. It doesn't matter what we did before in this. We're doing this again, and this time it's different. This time it's different because it's coming from a different place. It's like, well, we have God with us now. We have the Spirit with us now. This is very deep. This goes very deep, especially in this Libra season collective. This is really, and this could be something sudden that happened that like put this jolt with this Ace of Wands like this. I see this like something that either like really speeds up the energy, like all of a sudden we have a burst of energy, like almost like I hear it like a crisis, like something happening where you have to like, oh, you have to call 911, hurry up, and you get here, and you have to be like, you almost have to like stand in this virtue in a sense. Maybe this is telling us, this is how we have to be at this time. Standing up for what's right. This is the Sun in Aries. This is I am. This is acting on who you are. Who are you truly? And we're acting with love. We're coming at this with love, and this is how we're doing this through this writing, this communication. And maybe we do have to put it down in words. We're starting these with these aces. These are these new beginnings, and this Queen is really rising above these energies. With this 2 and this 3, we're really starting these. This is really working on our love, learning, feeling this. And this is water and fire. It's a very good mix. It's like, okay, well, we have to almost not have too much fire because then the water will dry out, and we don't want to have too much water because then the fire will die out. So this is why this balance is needed between this love, like what you want and how you feel. Maybe how acting what we want is something about acting on our feelings, something like this. Let's pull one of these cards for here. Let's see. Well, so yeah, we do have this healthy balance with these beginnings. So please tell me, Spirit, ancestors, Wands, the souls, your higher self, the messages, divine, or what we need to hear. When are we receptive and ready to receive what truth? Thank you. Wow. This might be too many. Okay, so we have these two. We'll take these two. And we'll put all these back with the King of Keys, who's leading this pack about this. Wow. up in the air. This looks like a tower. Look out. It's almost like looking at everything up in the air. It's like caught in the ruins. It's coming out. It's like this light of the world. This guy coming to help you. It's almost like this hermit, like knocking on your door, like, hey, I'm here to help you. And this might, earth angels are angels that come in the form of a person. And so this person might be an angel coming to help you. You know what I mean? This is the Two of Scrolls, these two worlds. And this is exactly what it is. If we're earth angel, it's like these two worlds were angel on earth. So it's like, two worlds. And then the King of Horses. So this king is on top and this king is on the bottom. We have the King of Keys and the King of Horses. So we're really just like this. We have the King of Swords, the King of Horses, this. And this was in one of the readings the other day. I think it was the Libra reading. This fox, the deer, and the rabbit. It's like they're working together, like this symbiotic thing, All right, so the two that fell out closest to us, we have number 2, the Akashic Library, which is all of this Mercury energy, this intellect, this knowledge, this wisdom. And then we have the Queen of Scrolls in reverse. So the Queen of Swords showing face again, but here in reverse this time. Let's see why. Now, the Akashic Record has these things. I like to read the little message. There's a special note in here for us. Now, number 2, when we talk about 2, we've been talking about it the whole reading. We're talking about balance. This balance, coming in. 2 is also the High Priestess, which is everything under the surface, having to deal with the emotion. Moon, same thing with this Penguin. And now we have this Akashic Records. He's writing. We have the Queen of Scrolls. She has a scroll. She's writing. She's reading. This is all intellect. This is very mercurial energy. Now, since this Akashic Records upright, this is saying that sometimes this card can indicate writing or publishing a book, but it also symbolizes a new initiation. And this is what we were talking about, this initiating into this new thing with this penguins, this new initiation. What were we talking about that? Oh, the CIA. So, and this is the ability to manifest a new life in every way. And that's what the penguins do too. What we were talking about in the face of danger, the penguins come out on top of the most shittiest situations, the most chaotic situations. They come out nice and smooth. So that's another thing too. This is saying that you have moved deeper into the Akashic Records and into a higher self-awareness. That's why we're talking about this, penguins. Further investigation may be required. Probably why we're talking about the FBI, the CIA. What do? They do these operations. They do these investigations. So this is, maybe we have to be like this. This is saying that you now have a better understanding of your old motives and your new purposes. It's also a time of heightened intuition as well as greater self-creation. This is what we're talking about, this water energy. During this phase, all you have to do is add a little conscious effort to write your new records in the Akashic. To get started today, write one simple declaration about the future you wish to create and repeat it to yourself often. Then decide one thing you could do to make it happen and do it. Anything can happen. Now, the breadth of the landscape before you rests solely on the scope of your imagination and your will to own it. So yeah, the special note is that a book will bring you a message today. It says open any book that compels you to do so. Open it to any page and then like pick that, and it'll address the certain relationship or situation that you needed. And this Akashic forces, they activate every part of your life. You'll start seeing synchronicities, you know. Maybe you'll see foxes, penguins, crows, you know, these wands, very watery creatures, you know. These scrolls were writing. Let's look at the Queen of Scrolls in reverse and see her message through here. Queen of Scrolls. Here we go. Sometimes this card reversed shows some sort of separation with an intellectual female who has strong communication skills or who works with the marketing or communication field. She could be a friend, family member, spouse, co-worker, and the separation could be due to distance, disruption, a breakup, or even divorce. Whatever the cause, let it go. This card reverse could indicate some significant problems with or for this person as well. The Queen of Scrolls may also indicate that you or a woman in your life may be losing or leaving a work position that involves management, research, study, communication. Now, there may be some uncertainty about the future, but the Queen of Scrolls is a woman of wisdom and is very close to the Akashic records. This is saying to turn to this side of you and let the records of the Akashic guide you now. So this is saying to close your eyes and feel this Queen of Scrolls approach. As she hands you a scroll, your greater mind awakens. Feel the sparkling brilliance there. And do you see anything as she hands you the scroll? I see there you are magical. And I see the sparkles. And then it says Santa. So something about Santa. Magical, like Santa Atlantical. It's a fated meeting. You know, what about Saint Nick? It's almost like we're conjuring this up. It's like the perfect timing, or like the timing is now. It's like right before the clock strikes. The clock struck. It's like right before the clock struck. But what I was trying to say is right before the clock strikes 12. And what is that? The three blind mice. See how they run. Clock strikes. You're gonna say something. How's that go? Clock strikes. Clock strikes 12. I don't know what it is, but something about this. Maybe our alarm's going off, you know, is this, now's the time. Now's the time. Now is the time, collective. Yes, we're gaining this power with the Four of Pentacles. You know, we're coming back into our truth. We're coming back, and this is the card that I say that we're back into this Uga, where the truth, we're standing on all four. This is the bull standing on all four, where we're all four, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally balanced. This is this balance, this yin and yang we were talking about here. And we gain this through this communication. This sun in Capricorn is this hard work. This is working. We're saving up on the split. Yes, this is the depression reverse, and this is this penguin energy, this Queen of Swords. We're speaking of this leaving the depression. Yes, and this 10 of ruins in the bottom, another 10. Wow, we're coming into this great big transition. Like I said, this is the power of adaptability of this great transition with all these 10s, these aces, this new love, this new vibration, it's like our brain is opening up and this new vibration is coming out. Maybe this hemisync, these different vibrations are really going to affect us. We are adjusting, and what we give, what we receive, we're making boundaries. You know, we're really digging into this intellect, this Akashic record. We're talking to these earth angels. You know, we're contacting, we're communicating with our spirit guides, with our lost loved ones, with the angels, with the divine, with our higher self, you know, anything under the surface, you know, 75% water, and this is how we're living this right now in this Libra Time Collective. So exciting. This is a time to really speak about your liberty, you know, your not Ghana for this liberty. Wow, amazing reading, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you soon for a new video. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Bye.